Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Erik Kohler, and as always, thanks for joining us. Big things are happening with Eastern Florida Athletics. I'll tell you what a better way to start with NCAA March Madness. The head coach of your men's basketball team, head coach Jeremy Shulman. Hey, Coach.
Erik, appreciate you having me on the show. It is March Madness time, and we're glad to be a part of it.
Well, I tell you, foreshadowed last week, and you said you were so excited you wanted to be here next week to be jacked about the tournament, and sure enough, it works out. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. And what a roller coaster to get here. You know, a lot like the season with some ups and downs, some peaks and valleys. And state tournament this past weekend, and of course our state tournament, our Region 8, NJCA Region 8 tournament's as good as any in the country. And all 8 teams in the tournament are just unbelievably talented. And for us to play Central Florida first round, the host school team that was 23-7, and got the win. And played fantastic basketball and scored 98 points and really played well offensively and got the win in front of a packed crowd, great atmosphere. I mean, it was really, really great win. And then to be in the semifinals with the number 1 seed and number 1 team in the state and the number 3 team in the country, Northwest Florida, team that we'd already played and beaten early in the year. And they came out angry, to say the least. And they took a 51-47 lead at halftime, and it was just it was one of those heavyweight title fights, and it was just a knock them out, drag them out, unbelievable game, and somehow made some huge plays down the stretch. Kareem Bruton was the All-American he was in the second half, and found a way, and we beat Northwest Florida in the semifinals. And at that point, we were a little worn out. I'll just be honest with you. And we played in the championship game against an unbelievable St. Pete team, who's another 26 wins, I'm sorry. And they're a physical, big, outstanding defensive team. And we took an 8-point lead to halftime, and we ran out of gas. And that semifinal game really caught up to us, and all the motion from the first round game even. And so we lose the game. And we've got guys crying in the locker room, and it's just it's a tough situation in the locker room coming that close to a state championship, and knowing that our only chance at the national tournament at this point is an at-large bid, one of only 4 at-large bids nationwide. Also knowing that the number 1, number 2, and number 3 team in the country had all lost. Knowing that there's a chance our season was over in that locker room, and our guys felt the desperation, felt the immense sadness because this team's so special, and to have to sweat it out the next day on Selection Sunday to see who the 4 at-large bids were, and then the joy and the ecstasy of having Eastern Florida's name called as one of the at-large bids, one of the 4 at-large bids, along with the number 1, number 2, number 3 teams in the country, to go to Hutch for the national tournament. It was a roller coaster, and it was. We're glad we're on the way up again right now.
Well, I tell you what, the brand of Eastern Florida basketball, on the men's side especially, the national visibility is there for the committee to notice that, to get these other teams involved in the national tournament. Kudos to you that you've helped raise the bar.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. And before I even talk about our team and everything, I want to give a shout out to the NJCA and to the committee, who I think did a phenomenal job over the past few years. The NJCA has really tried to mimic the NCAA with their committee, with their selection committee, with the way they roll it out on a Selection Sunday and a Bracket Monday. And so they really went against the old school trend of just taking the higher ranked teams or taking the teams with the gaudy records. And this committee spent a lot of hours of deliberation, and they really came out and sent a message to the country that they want to reward strength of schedule, who you play, who you beat, and reward you for scheduling tough. It actually reminded me a lot of college football and the college football playoff system, and really sent a message. And a few years ago when I guess it was Baylor and TCU that got left out, they sent a message to the Baylors of the world, that Baylor footballs of the world, that scheduled easy in the non-conference and didn't schedule anybody, and they said, hey, you got to go play teams. And so thankfully for us, they looked at the fact that we had 26 Division I wins, 28 wins total, but 26 Division I wins. We had 3 wins against teams that were already in the tournament.
Right.
We had 2 wins head-to-head against Northwest Florida, who's number 3 in the country. We have a 4-2 record against teams in the top 25 in the country, which is as many top 25 wins as anyone in the country. So it's just exciting to see the NJCA and that committee really deliberate and try to get the 4 best teams and 4 most deserving teams for those at-large bids. So we're very, very thankful and very, very humbled.
Well, and the thing is, too, is committee, it's so subjective.
Yeah.
But like you said, is you gave them time to look at your body of work. Because
Yeah.
if you look through your schedule, like you said, is you saw a lot of rankings next year versus opponents.
Yeah.
And you went out there and took care of business. But I tell you what, had to be tough.
Yeah.
After those 2 big wins up in Ocala, you lose a championship game.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of leaving it's outside of your control.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
What did it look like the selection show that you guys all huddled together? I saw a family and the team were together. What was the energy that happened when Eastern Florida was called?
Well, here's what we did at first. We decided not to do anything for the selection Sunday.
Okay.
Because we didn't know what our chances were, and the guys just the night before just had their hearts ripped out in the championship game. And,
Right.
And I couldn't do it to them again by putting together a team party and a watch party and have our name not called.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, and we just couldn't do it. And so about 10 minutes before the announcements are going to start coming out, and they do it on Twitter, I look at my wife, I said, let's get in the car. Let's head to the apartments. Let's go see the guys. Let's go see the guys. And she said, are you sure? Like, what if we don't get, I've just got a good gut feeling all of a sudden. Let's hop in the car. Let's go to the apartments. So we drove to the apartments, got there, right around when the announcements were coming out. And some of the guys were asleep when we were getting there. And so we called to tell them, hey, we're a couple minutes away. Wake up, get out of bed. And then the announcement came that we got the bid.
Wow.
And the guys just went wild. I mean, it was just such a special moment, and so thankful that me and my wife decided to go over there to share it with the guys rather than just separately find out about it. And
you had a feel.
I just had a gut feel, and I was just just hoping, and just we got in, and it was just pure joy with our guys after such a demoralizing experience the night before. So very, very happy for the guys. Then on Monday we had the watch party for the actual bracket release and ordered pizza and everything. And so it was great getting to do it all together and talk about the other teams in the tournament. And even then, the NJCA made us wait. We're the last name called on the tournament at the 6th seed in the very bottom. So we got a great seed and a great bracket, and we'll play the winner of Indian Hills and Monroe, 2 outstanding teams. Monroe out in New York, who we've already played this year, who's an outstanding team, and beat them back in December at their place. And then Indian Hills, who's a perennial power and as talented as any team in the country. And Coach Plona does a great job, with them. And whoever we play out of that's going to be a heck of a matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, as you said, it's March Madness time. And
I like it. Now, real quick, as we close out, talk about the logistics of travel up to Kansas.
Well, we're fortunate, here at Eastern Florida with the administration that we've got and with Coach Carr and Dr. Ritchie that we are not driving. We are flying out to Kansas.
Good.
So we're flying out. I will fly out Sunday because I've got a coaches meeting, and then we don't play until Wednesday night. And so the rest of the team will fly out Monday morning, and then we'll practice Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll get ready for our game on Wednesday. And hopefully have a long stay out there, and hopefully find a way to put together 4 wins in a row. Well,
Coach, congrats to you and your team. It's been an emotional roller coaster ride, but now you punch your ticket to the next level. Good luck, go Titans.
Absolutely. Thank you, Erik.
That's cool. That's Jeremy Shulman. We'll come back on the other side and talk men's soccer with the very own Oliver Twelvetrees. This is Inside Titan Sports. Stay right there.
Eastern Florida State College. This is where you discover new opportunities, where you pursue your dreams, and careers take flight. Apply now for new bachelor and associate degree programs in business, healthcare, computer technology, and other growing fields. Eastern Florida, where Titans rise. Apply today.
Hey fans, welcome back to Inside Titan Sports. Time to switch gears and jump to the pitch. Time to talk some soccer action with our very own head coach of men's soccer, Oliver Twelvetrees. Coach, welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a while. Thanks for having me back on.
It's been too long. What you been up to these days, Coach?
Just trying to win some games.
So, hey, listen, a great story about a team at the MLS. Minnesota has been on campus the last couple weeks. What a great exposure for you and your team to have a team like that to be around for the program.
Yeah, it's been a great learning experience for everybody. Adrian Heath, who's the former head coach at Orlando City, he's now the new coach of the new franchise, new team in MLS, Minnesota United, and he loves Florida and he loves Melbourne and Eastern Florida, so he brought his team, his new Minnesota team, down to Eastern Florida to do a week-long preseason camp. So, we were able to interact with them every day and help them out a little bit on the training side and evaluate and watch what they were doing. So our players and our coaching staffs on both the men's and the women's program could watch to see what the pros are doing in terms of the coaching and preparation to build an MLS team ready to compete in their league that just started, 2 weeks ago.
So, Coach, how did you build that bridge, though, with an MLS team? Is obviously the connection with you and Adrian Heath, like you said, now as the head coach for Minnesota United?
Yeah, myself and Coach Carr, we obviously got to know their staff through last year through our association with Orlando City, and he wanted to come back, and obviously our facility is one of the best in the country, and it's a great opportunity for them to come and stay a little bit away from the big city, and they could stay on the beach and give those players from Minnesota a new experience there, and they stayed on the beach and they trained at our facility, and a lot of teams actually do their preseason in Florida. So there was Toronto was here, Chicago was here. There was a number of teams in Florida doing their preseason in Orlando. And so they were actually able to play a game on the Wednesday against Toronto at a complex there in Orlando, but then travel back and stay here on the beach, which is a little bit more low-key and a better environment for them to build their team for the MLS season.
Well, like you said, the facilities, we had Jeremy Shulman on the other side, men's basketball, heading to Hutchinson, Kansas, and now you have created that national brand for men's soccer for the Titans, and to be able to work with clubs like that. Now let's switch gears, talk about another team, USL SCA. San Antonio was here in town. Talk about that.
Yeah, so 2 weeks in a row, we had San Antonio the second week, and they were doing the same thing. The San Antonio is a newer USL franchise as well. It's just their second year in the league, and they've got the former coach there was actually at Orlando City as a youth director. So there was the connection right there, and that was great for our players as well, because actually some of our players that have exhausted their NJCA eligibility were able to actually train with San Antonio. So the coach of San Antonio was able to have a look at some of our players, and what great exposure for our guys to be able to play with the pros and get in front of the pro coach and give themselves a little bit of an opportunity to show what they can do.
Now, you played a little scrimmage against San Antonio. Talk about the result of that. That was actually very positive for Eastern Florida.
Yeah, we played against, perhaps more of their second string and some guys on trial, but we were able to get the result and get the clean sheet and won that game 1-0. So certainly for bragging rights for us, that's 2 years. We play professional teams, and that's 2 positive results we've got with 2 wins. So, that's very, very good for the program and, just our 4th year of the program and having 2 wins against professional teams. I don't think many college teams, let alone junior college teams, could say that they've done that.
Well, I think it's great exposure, and kudos to Jeff Carr and you to bring those teams to come down to have their spring training per se. Now talk about, you said when they exhaust their eligibility, some of the teams, what are the guidelines with NJCAA for some of these teams to work with the San Antonio per se for some of your former Titans players?
Yeah, so basically it's players that have played their sophomore year. So when they've played their second year and they're moving on to the Division I level, they're allowed to go and practice with some professional teams to try and see if there would any opportunities arise. We had a number of former players as well. One of my former players was actually playing for San Antonio as well. Kevin McFarland just signed a contract this last year, so he was actually there. So it was nice to see one of my players from my first team here at Eastern Florida back at his home field, getting paid to play. So that was nice. And that's really the path of a lot of players. That's their dream. That's what they want to do. The players want to come in. They want to play junior college. They want to play Division I. And then they want to go and play professional soccer. And that's the goal. That's the pathway that we want them to follow and that they all want to follow. Not all of them are going to make it. But giving them the opportunities that we do here at least increases that chance of making it happen.
Well, the biggest thing is exposure for the kids to see the coaches and just get a taste of what it's like at that next level, what they got to work for. Now talk about, obviously you see these kids for 2 years, freshman, sophomore year, and you got to reload each and every year. Talk about some of the newcomers that are coming in for the Titans men's soccer team.
Yeah, we were able to bring in a number of players in January, which was actually fantastic. We had a few guys that could graduate early because of their good academics. So we were able to bring in a centre back from Nottingham, Reese Myers, who was just fantastic in our recent games. He's a big, strong, bit of a throwback to the old centre backs. He's big and tough and mean, and he can tackle, and he likes to defend. So we're expecting big things for him next year. And then centre midfielder Troy Gonzalez he used to go to IMG, and he's spent some time in Germany after playing at IMG. So he's got good experience, and he's great on the ball, and he'll slide right into Craig McCall, who's an All-American for us. He'll slide right into his position, I think, and dominate the midfield. So we're excited about those boys, and as well as Abdul Gagne, a boy from the Right to Dream Academy, which is an academy in Ghana that basically plucks young boys from kind of shanty towns and takes them into the city and schools them and houses them and feeds them and trains them. And then a lot of the times those players go on and get signed professionally. But luckily enough, we managed to get that connection and bring Abdul to us. And so instead of going to the pros, he's coming to the college game. And recently the number 1 pick in the MLS draft was his former teammate. And he actually plays for Minnesota United. So they got to have a reunion as well. So, the soccer world is very small, and we're definitely excited about the new players we had coming in January and the new guys coming in here in August.
So what does it look like for the spring right now? You're not in your official season right now, but what does it look like for the players in terms of training, setting up scrimmages, stuff like that for Titans soccer?
Yeah, we're allowed 4 scrimmage dates, so we've got 4 games set up. We're playing against San Antonio, it's a professional team, and then 2 Division I teams in UCF and Jacksonville University, and then we'll finish up with Florida Southern, which is a Division II program. So we really try and play Division I's, 2s, and pro teams to increase the exposure. And then we train every day, and the guys are out there trying to be the best they can be and improve their skills.
Coach, what's the offseason look like in terms of strength and conditioning? Is it a lot of running? Is it a lot of what are some of the calisthenics that are involved?
Yeah, we are in the weight room a couple of days a week, but if you want to be a better footballer, you've got to practice soccer. That's the reality of it, and yeah, you can improve physically, and that's an important part of it. But it's very much a soccer-specific training is what's necessary to take your game to the next level.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I think it's great everything you've done in terms of the facilities and bringing all that jazz. Now, talk about some of the things you do on the side. You're doing some commentating for Orlando City Soccer, so you're staying involved in that circle of soccer.
Yeah, I'm going to do the radio here for Orlando City on Saturday night, and then I'll do the color commentary online for the OCB, the USL team. So it's nice to, to keep that experience going, and, that experience opened up from Eastern Florida, from developing that connection. So it's great to be here at Eastern Florida and all the opportunities that arise from working here.
So how do you like the coaching aspect now, since you came into something that you just really enjoy? Talk about coaching here at the Titans has been so special for you.
Oh yeah, certainly coaching is the number 1 love, and that'll be what I'll do until I'm no longer winning games. So, but definitely love the coaching, and the other stuff is fun to do. But coaching is to get the most buzz out of that, and seeing the players go on and be successful and play at the next level, and obviously the having the euphoria of when you win big games is definitely something that we look forward to every season.
Well, Coach, we're lucky to have you. All over 12Trees?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Jeremy as well and the men's basketball team. What an unbelievable program he has, and to get to nationals again. I know how hard it is to get to nationals, and he's done it, twice now in 2 straight years, and I think he's going to go win it all this year.
It's a nice touch, Coach. Appreciate all you do. Take a short break, come back with continued action on Inside Titan Sports. Don't go away.
This is where we're building the future. This is where we meet the challenge, where leaders emerge and careers take flight. This is where you discover new opportunities. Choose to stand where excellence lives, where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to our final segment of Inside Titan Sports. I am joined alongside Manager of Athletic Communications. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Michael Parsons. Hey Mike, what's going on?
A lot. We're a busy bunch in Eastern Florida these days.
I tell you what, at the NJCAA, you guys are making splashes. Talk about Sports Center, top 10 plays, number 3. That was outstanding. Talk about Sammy Duran.
Yeah, what a special night that was. And, all the stars kind of aligned in that the TV's there. You're doing the broadcast, and Sammy makes this catch that, like, nobody, even he said he thought it was a double when he took off, and he just took the right route, and all of a sudden he got it, and what a special night that was, and just a cool catch.
I mean, what a great opportunity for Eastern Florida to get national visibility with Sports Center, no less.
Yeah.
Number 3, we had people that are tweeting and texting and Facebook and all about this jazz. And the best part about that shot was he makes that catch to be the 3rd out. Then he leads off the next inning in the bottom of the 6th, and he jacks one out of the
Yeah.
park for a home run.
Which you called.
That was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. We're waiting for him to come to bat, and I'm listening to you say, man, I hope he parlays this into something.
That was a great parlay.
And it was a great parlay because, he got an inside pitch, he said, and he just turned on it. And, boy, he did. It was out of here in a hurry.
I couldn't believe when you sent that communication out that had been sent out. I just almost fell off my chair. So talk about the background of getting on SportsCenter Top 10, of submitting that, and for the producers to catch that up there in Bristol.
Sure. Well, it all starts with the TV crew. If we didn't have the TV crew there, we wouldn't even have had it.
Yep.
And he actually said, I made one in a preseason game against Florida Tech like that. He said, but nobody was there. He said, so nobody except for my teammates really knew I even did it. But he said this one was better because it was conference.
Yeah.
So, it's always better in a conference game.
Right.
But, so, the TV crew, gives us the clip because Coach Tam had started saying, that's SportsCenter worthy. And Ryan Keel, our assistant athletic director, is like, yeah, it is. And so we get the clip from TV, and this is where, the team and everybody else gets involved too because, we hashtag it, and for SportsCenter Top 10, and we start throwing it out, and then all the players just start retweeting it, and the video really catches fire. And the shocking thing is, like, less than an hour. It was online less than an hour.
I'll be darned.
And ESPN was direct messaging us asking for the clip.
I'll be darned.
And less than an hour from that, it's on. Like, we think that we do things fast and we do things well, but when you see, ESPN in less than an hour and a half, your clip is from your house to their TV in less than an hour.
And it
was amazing.
100 million
Yeah.
looks across the world. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It was unbelievable, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it. So I put it up online about 11, I would say, somewhere around there, and I'm sitting there with the wife, and I said, 11:50, they're gonna do top plays. Let's just see. He's not thinking it would be on yet, and when it came on, I was like, you got to be kidding! Here it is,
What was the hashtag Saucy Sammy?
Yeah, hashtag Saucy Sammy, because that was the first call. Because that's the other interesting thing is, throughout the day, they change.
Yeah,
They
they're
change everything
interchangeable.
because they're doing live SportsCenter.
Right.
And so the first one that was on at 11:50, they gave you the shout out because you had done the da-da-da.
Yeah, I did do that.
And they
That
said,
was
we
fun.
hear you. And then they did the Saucy Sammy because it was a saucy catch. And so, that hashtag caught on for a little while as well. So it was amazing night for sure.
I tell you what, so baseball's off to a great start, makes some SportsCenter. But the biggest thing is, kudos to Dr. Jim Ritchie and his staff to get that exposure, to have those games televised, Mike. Because like you said, Sammy made that other catch, a great catch. Nobody was there. It's like a tree falling in the woods.
Yeah.
No one sees it or hears it. And now having these games televised, gets that exposure at the NJCAA level is something very, very, very special.
Well, and that's the thing is, you can't measure that kind of publicity in anything we can do. And
Absolutely.
And it goes back to, our commitment to making our sports teams the best and to making our productions the best. And, because the other thing is, a lot of people do TV, but not a lot of people do TV with as many cameras as we do.
Yes.
And as many angles as we do. Because, you see that catch, you see it in 3 different angles. It's like watching ESPN. When you're watching that catch, because we got to see it in 2 or 3 different angles. So you got to see Sammy coming, and make that catch in full vertical.
Fully extended.
He was like Superman. He's just diving.
And the best part, he had presence of mind to reach up and show the ump that I made the catch.
Yeah.
And, John Bober and those guys with WEFS, they do a great job. They got the dugout cam now, the bullpen cam, and all those different looks to be able for Bristol and ESPN, the home of SportsCenter, to be able to pick that up top 10 is amazing to me.
It is amazing. Yeah, and it's one of those things that you do, and you're like, it probably won't get any traction, but it was a good catch. We'll hashtag it, and we'll see where it goes and see, if nothing else, more people will see it,
but the biggest thing is to be able to picked up so quickly.
Yeah.
As you and your wife were watching, and all of a sudden, bam, Eastern Florida's here on the prime time.
Yeah, she was going crazy. It was funny. I was trying to video it, so that I could post that we were actually on, and she's laughing and screaming in the background. I was like, okay, we got to wait an hour now because I got to.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike, you do a great job for Eastern Florida. I tell you, kudos to you of all the stuff that you do. Of social media is such a big presence these days, of Instagram, Snapchat, all that jazz, Facebook. But you have really done a good job since I've been part of this family of helping with the TV show. You've really helped put that brand of Eastern Florida there for people to pick up on that. Talk about the timeline that you got to put in that energy to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just something that really started at Florida today. It's something that I always relate everything back to prep football, and
Right.
in Brevard County, prep football is God, and the way that we do things is basically everything and very timely. And so this last weekend in Ocala, people were always looking at me because I'm in the corner and I'm tweeting and I'm doing the videos,
Yeah.
and I'm just going, I got everything
Multitasker.
going, and everybody's just like, wow, what's he doing? But it's basically, it goes right back to on Friday night footballs, that's what we do.
Right.
That's the kind of thing we've always done. And so it's one of those things that's just ingrained in me now, and it's not that big a deal.
Well, I think it's great. You're the MacGyver of Eastern Florida.
Yeah.
As we close out here, let's talk about Jeremy Shulman's run, men's basketball, going to Kansas. When do you get to leave?
Yeah, I leave with the team on Monday, so I'm excited. We're going to have a practice at Wichita State, which is really cool.
Wow, cool, the Shockers.
So I get to see that gym before we head to Hutchinson, and I'm expecting another great week. These guys it's just a great bunch of guys, and it's fun to be around them. And, I'm like the fly on the wall kind of thing. I'm just in the background.
Right.
But they're a really good bunch, and they want to win. And it's one of those things that's exciting because, at the JUCO level, kids are different because they're looking at the next level. And they're,
Right.
Like Oliver said, they're looking at, can I play pro? Can I go D1? And they've all got their signs already. They've signed to D1 or they're going to. And a lot of times they lose focus that, it's about winning here too, because, I'm going here, or I'm going here next. What am I doing next? But this group is very focused on winning. And it's like Coach said, there was a devastation after losing that state game that you don't see very often, except for at the high school level, where you can tell that these guys, they love the game and they want to win.
That's just a great opportunity.
It really is.
And congratulations real quickly to the fundraiser of out
Yeah.
there supporting the funds and doing great things in the community.
Definitely. Last Saturday, we had a barbecue fest. Unfortunately, I was in Ocala, but fortunately, I was in Ocala because
Yeah.
we were in the finals. But, they had a great event, a lot of good food, and the soccer teams played. The men's and women's soccer teams kind of played together in a game for 3 20-minute things, and it was a great time, and it's a good start for our foundation and really getting that kicked off so that we can start raising money to help our sports and school go even farther.
Well, Mike, you do a great job of creating awareness, and good luck to Jeremy Shulman this weekend as you go up there to Kansas as well. But that's all the time we have for anything and everything for Titans Athletics. Visit us online at EFSCTitans.com. On behalf of our producer, Rob Landers, Michael Parsons, and Sam Hensler, my name is Erik Kohler. Until next week, this is Inside Titan Sports. Remember, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.